Everybody, this is DCsan coming back to you again. Just wanted to give a quick post for some of the comments that were left for me recently on one of my more recent posts about Deathstroke and Batman. I am so looking forward to seeing that because Deathstroke is one of my favorite anti-heroes slash villains. Outside of the powers and the enhancements that he has, being a master assassin, his costume is awesome. And he's just a good counterbalance when it comes to Batman. I think the fight scene that was posted, or the partial fight scene that was posted, was really cool. And every time we see him, there's always a tweak or an addition to his costume. And he just uses whatever is around him so well. He's just badass. It's one of the characters that a couple of my friends have asked me, would I ever be interested in cosplaying that character? And the answer is hell's yes. He's just badass. The figure from Bucky was partially conceptualized by me as well. Also check out The Killing Joker. That's one of my favorites by Bucky. But anyways, him being one of my favorite villains and finally making his appearance in the big screen in the DC Extended Universe, I think Cinematic Extended Universe is fantastic. A long time coming. That's one of the characters in the Batman universe I wish they would have brought it out a long time ago. But, timing, depending on how they do it, having a character, making him anywhere in like late 30s to even early 50s, I think would be great because he'd be matured, he understands the importance of patience and skill and things of that nature. Just the way he would play that would be cool. Also, one of the comments by Charlie-san, thank you. I also like your posts as well. He's got some good videos. You guys should check out his channel. Fight scenes are so great that he's completely fanboying out. Brother, I understand. Because I was the same way, and I can't wait to see more of it, because when they introduced the character on Arrow, I was just like so overjoyed because it's a character that I think should have been done a long time ago. Then you also have comment, that boy Cliff, thank you. Yeah, I am a DC fan. I'm a Marvel fan too. I enjoy entertainment as it is. But as far as the Batman Superman movie goes, I have plenty of gripes with it because when it comes to the story, I wish there were different avenues that were taken, but no movie is perfect, and because that's that artist's interpretation, so it is what it is. I enjoyed it as a whole, mainly because I got to see some of my favorite characters from childhood being portrayed on the big screen, and I liked being able to see Wonder Woman finally on the big screen. Also, I think we should have more characters out there for everybody, male or female, because it gives children of all ages a chance to enjoy a character. Also, Civil War. Yes, I enjoyed Civil War. Batman, Superman, and Civil War are, somewhat of the same storyline when it comes to your heroes. You've got two heroes with a conflicting path, or the way they want to handle something is completely different, but the end goal is the same or very close, and that causes conflict because when you're dealing with even fans of DC and fans of Marvel, well, what's the one thing that we have in common? We love comic books. But diehard fanboys of DC, or diehard fanboys, as people say, of Marvel, they tend to get blindsided that we are all enjoying the same things, and that's entertainment. When it comes to the Civil War movie, I enjoyed it. It was completely badass. There are some things in there that did bug me. One of the simple things is the history of Tony Stark's parents and him not knowing the truth about what happened even after hacking into S.H.I.E.L.D. a few movies previous, like in the Avengers movie. All that information, all of those years of research and things of that nature, it's like he didn't know. But then on the other side, after looking for a while, sometimes you may not want to know, or you know the truth, but you don't want to face it. So I can understand how they could kind of play with that. It was a bit weak for me, right up the same alley as Batman not knowing much about Superman, even after 18 months of him going around the world saving people. I mean, come on, seriously. And there's that 1% chance. That's kind of weak, but whatever. Then you also have the main antagonist of Civil War. How is it that he knew Iron Man and Captain America and, potentially Bucky, whether you count him in or not, would be at the same place at the same time to see this video and would go at it? This is kind of weak. He didn't plan for everybody to be there at the same time. And for me to accept that just seems kind of like really? Also, Cap understanding and knowing what happened to Tony's parents, him being the friend, he feels conflicted. Should I say something or should I not say something? And even if I say something, what is it going to change? And, that personal conflict within himself, I think, was done fairly well. Because we all have that moment where it's like, should we say something or not say something? Will it make things better or worse? And you never know what the outcome will be, but you just got to trust in yourself and or trust in the person that you're with to, be forthcoming and tell them, or not say anything at all, but stick to your guns either way. Tony's reaction, I thought, was played well. I mean, him losing his parents and then everything coming back to him, and the person that potentially did it, brainwashed or otherwise, basically being right next to him. Well, why wouldn't he lose his stuff? Being upset like that was a very, very natural response. So the way they played that, I thought, was really cool. How they go about doing things from here on out will be interesting, just because, well, the Avengers are pretty much broken. Trust between each other is broken, but it's also gained a new layer. So it's like, is it completely broken, or, has it just caused a new rift between people, but not going to last? We'll see. Again, no movie is perfect. I mean, even with the first Avengers movies, you had Captain America, Black Widow, Iron Man talking to each other, and they're all in completely different areas in the city. You got Iron Man 3 miles up, you got Captain America and Black Widow clearly at least a good mile or more away from each other. How are they speaking to each other without, some type of earpiece or whatever? And Captain America was the only one that actually did like this, as if he had something there, but no one else did. So that was one of those points where it's like, movie magic. So between Lex Luthor finding out everything about Superman and Batman not knowing, and he's the great detective, I thought was a bit odd, to say the least. The Ultimate Edition was far more enjoyable than the regular edition, but even then, I'm like many other fans of movies, outside of being a fan of DC and anything else, I wish the Ultimate version was released first. Just because the movie plays better. But, it's not our call. Am I happy that we got to see something? Yes. Could have been executed differently or better? Yes. There are a bunch of movies that have that little tweak in it that could have been done differently, or a scene that could have been shot in different lighting. A lot of thing is hindsight after you shoot it. So let's hope that the franchises, both Marvel and DC, just get better from here on out. I'm enjoying being able to go to the movie theater, sit down with my friends, and just enjoy movies. And even television. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. My issue with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is that it took 2 seasons too long to build really good characters. Like Quake, she's badass. But it's one of those where it's like, we went this long without having an actual superhero anywhere in sight, and then now it's like, well, if we use the Inhumans, we can kind of play around with the storyline and not worry about messing with the licenses of main characters. Understandable, but just put a fire under it. Get that kind of stuff out a bit quicker, because if you don't, you're going to lose a lot of your fan base and viewers, just because we're going to lose interest. So finally getting into those type stories, end of season 2 and season 3, thank you, about time. Netflix TV shows, Daredevil, Luke Cage, which is going to be awesome because the first 3 episodes that I've seen were great. Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones is one of those shows. I enjoyed it. I was asked, do I have any issues with the series? I don't have any issues with the series per se. My issue would be, all right, out of X number of episodes that they shot, the storyline could have been finished within 5 to 7, and then the latter episodes could have been building into, season 2 cliffhanger, like season 1 cliffhanger that leads into season 2. That would have been interesting, just because I felt the antagonist, he could have bought it a hell of a lot sooner. But that's a personal thing. The DC television universe is pretty interesting. Some people have issues with Constantine being canceled and then now possibly going over to CW. I hope it does, just because being under the same writers and the same tent as everything else that they already have, it'll be easier to do crossovers. It'll be easier to share different characters. I just think it gels a bit better. Otherwise, put it on like Sci-Fi Network and have it completely different than everything else. But I like that it's there because it has a potential for introducing magic, supernatural beings, and things of that nature, along with your superhero base. I'm looking forward to a couple of the Netflix shows from Marvel that are coming out that are about to start this fall, mainly because, same thing, different dynamic, different characters that haven't been portrayed on television before or in a very long time. Just original storylines are interesting to me. I don't mind having our main staple characters like Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, things of that nature out there. Just want more stories that draw me in as a viewer, as a reader, things of that nature. Rebirth series is amazing. I did like the New 52. I didn't have too many issues with it. I liked how they were giving slightly different spins on some of the characters. The Rebirth series is great because it feels like the old mixed with the new, but in a really good direction. So that's interesting. The things with Lex Luthor and Superman or Superman is it's interesting. Let's see where it goes. The Flash storyline is fantastic. Wally West coming back, Barry Allen being there, I think is awesome because those are 2 of my favorite speedsters. Barry Allen is my favorite one just because he always seemed to be looking for truth in something, whether it be within himself, what happened with his parents, or the people around him, and he was always looking for that little something to keep himself going. And I thought that was interesting because it wasn't always just speed, and because he is really intelligent in the way that they created that character was really cool. Wally West is great because he's that happy-go-lucky guy, and he seems grounded yet somewhat lighthearted when it comes to things, and he wants to do whatever he can to help people, but also kind of make things a bit lighter than they usually are. So that's really cool. So as far as the Rebirth series goes, I'm loving it. DeathStroke being on the big screen, loving it. I can't wait. I would really love to see Green Lantern John Stewart being on the big screen. As a matter of fact, I will be looking forward to auditioning for it, and because that's a badass character, and I'd love to see it, if not portray that character. But anyways, if it's in the Marvel Universe, I'd say Blue Marvel, just because he's a cool character, and not so much that people are like, oh, he's like the Black Superman of Marvel. No, just he's an interesting character because his backstory is is unique, and it's one of those things where, well, not it's unique compared to some of the other characters, but it's also very real world. It's like things that have happened in real life. You could see that happen to that character, so that made it interesting for me as a reader. Looking forward to seeing what they do with the new Spider-Man series, because the cast is very different from what people expect, and I always like when you take characters and storylines and go in new directions. That will be fantastically interesting. Star Wars. And yes, there's a lot of things I'm touching base on, mainly because they're stuck in my head. I'm thinking about it right now. Star Wars Rogue One, oh my goodness, can't wait. That's going to be amazing. Episode 8 and Episode 9 are going to be badass. Again, even those, gotta audition for them, just because. It's like, who wouldn't want to be a Jedi? Hell, I even play a Sith, I don't care. But I'm Jedi at heart. But I just love the series. I love what they're doing with it. I love the directions they're going in. Episode 7, making 3 new heroes for the next generation, I thought was really smart. And making it to where we don't know who Rey really is or her real background is really, really interesting. Her and Finn, actually. How is Finn's character going to look from here on out, especially with him being hit in the back with the lightsaber? Will he have cybernetic implants or not? Will he get his own BB-8? Because that'd be awesome. Sorry, I'm a BB-8 lover. I think it's adorable. Even the toy that I got from Sphero is amazing. Can't wait for the Force-controlled one, because that's pretty cool. But anyways, geeking out right now. Focus. So as it stands now, I am enjoying what's going on with the movies and television on all fronts. I hope the storylines and the characters are done a bit tighter. I am looking forward to seeing a lot of these side characters get their own movies and get in front of the camera. I'm really looking forward to the Aquaman movie. I'd like to see what happens with Flash and Cyborg, but I would say the first movie I'm looking forward to seeing is Wonder Woman, mainly because I want to see how they portray her character in the movie theater outside of the trailers. I'm trying to stay away from too many of them because I don't want to get too much input. If you haven't seen any of the movies that I've mentioned, with the exception of ones that haven't come out, like the newest Batman and Wonder Woman, please go check them out. Give me some comments. Let me know what you think. If there's a movie or a television show you think I should take a look at, let me know, because I love television and entertainment. It's what I do for work, and it's what I do for fun. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for taking the time to check out the video. I will talk to you soon. Love you guys. Keep it super.